don't have quorum as of yet, but we'll go ahead and get started in respect of everybody's time, and I'm sure the rest will come lingering in. So let's go ahead. We're going to, a couple of things. Okay. So I got a call today, and unfortunately our NA is sick and was not able to join us, which is why you don't see him sitting up here tonight, which is why we don't have name tags, and I can't gavel us in. But that's okay. We don't have to do the minutes, which is great, so Charlene's safe. But any motions and stuff like that, we will do our best to at least keep track of everything. I told Lloyd that we would be just fine and we can handle this. So we're going to skip elections. Any declaration of conflicts?
Yes,
Yes.
I have a conflict.
What's your conflict?
Waimea's on the agenda tonight.
Use the microphone, please, because we are recording you.
Excuse me. Yes, I have a conflict tonight.
Okay.
Waimea's on the agenda.
Okay. Do you get paid by them?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
So you can
I thought
still,
you
if
were
we
gonna
take a
offer me
vote, you
some.
can still vote because you're not getting, if you get kala, then you can't vote.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. But thank you for declaring the conflict. Okay. So we're going to go right to reports, and then we'll come back to elections as soon as we get more people in here. So Hawaii, Honolulu Fire Department, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dustin with the Waialua Fire Station. Tonight I'm going to be reading the statistics for June 2024. So we'll start with fires, wildland brush, 1. Activated alarms, 1. Emergencies, medical, we have 63. Motor vehicle collision with pedestrian, 1. Motor vehicle crash and collision, 2. Mountain rescues, 2. Ocean rescues, 1. Our fire safety tip for the month is heat safety. Hawaii has some of the highest average annual relative humidity in the country. When it is too humid, our bodies have a harder time cooling down, which can lead to heat-related illness. In the past decade in Hawaii, the average number of hot and humid days and very warm nights have more than doubled due to the climate change and are expected to increase. You can visit www.resilientoahu.org/subscribe to sign up for updates on heat in Hawaii this summer. Make sure you're prepared for the heat. Keep cool with fans or AC spaces and in shade. Wear lightweight, loose-fitting clothing. Drink plenty of water. Stay out of the sun. Wear a hat outdoors or take an umbrella. Check on neighbors at high risk of heat-related illness. You can find more resources about heat illnesses, extreme heat, and how to prepare at www.heat.gov. And that's it. Do we have any questions this evening?
Board members, questions? Yes, Bob.
When you folks go on your training drives, arounds, do you ever go up and drive on Drum Road? And kind of the rest of the question is, if there was a fire in the back acreage, would you need to use Drum Road?
That's a great question, sir. Unfortunately, I can't answer that at this time, but I'll get the answer for you, and I'll have it for you next community board meeting.
Yeah. You can actually, your community team can email me, and then I'll make sure that we get it out.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, perfect. Thank
Okay,
you.
and community, Franco, I do need you to come up to the microphone, though, sir. Thank you. Well, here, why don't you use this one?
Private landowners, the real flammable brush, okay, from Waimea coming towards Haleiwa. Do you guys make any reports to these private landowners and ask them to maintain the brush fire prevention?
So, yeah, we do ask that everybody maintain their lands as best as they can.
Does it go beyond a request? Because
What penalties are there, in other words, for not clearing?
As far as penalties, again, that particular question, I can look into it for you, and I'll have an answer for you next community board meeting.
Thank you, sir. We
Okay.
appreciate that. Any other questions for HFD? Go ahead, Debbie.
Takes a lot, but anyway, I digress. There have been a lot of rescues, hikers, visitors mainly. Who pays? It's often 8 to 16 of you guys in a helicopter.
So again, for that particular question, I can ask about that and get back to you next.
think it might be
Actually,
board
we
meeting.
pay.
Taxpayers, yeah.
We pay.
Okay.
That I know for a fact. It comes out of the county government budget. So,
Okay.
yeah. Any other questions? Thank you, gentlemen, for
Okay.
coming tonight. We really
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, at this time, if there's no objection, before we go on to the balance of our reports, we need to go back for election of officers. So at this time, I will entertain a motion for chair. Denise?
I'll make a motion to nominate Kathleen Pahinui as our chair.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Bob, seconds?
Do you need a second?
No, you don't. But thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Mahalo, and thank you for your confidence in me. Okay, entertaining nominations for vice chair. Do we have a nomination for vice chair? Bob?
I nominate Maka.
Oh. Yes, Denise.
And I'll renominate Raquel. So we have 2 nominees.
Okay, do you want to be vice chair? Maka. Micah.
Aloha. I appreciate the nomination, the gesture, and I serve with the pleasure, but I also recognize that Vice Chair Achu has been very much at the forefront. I support our board and our community as necessary. So mahalo nui.
Do you withdraw your nomination?
I withdraw. I rescind my comment.
Okay. Okay, any other nominations for vice chair? Okay, hearing none, nominations are closed. Any discussion? All those in favor of Raquel Achu as vice chair, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Any abstention? Okay, Maka, what time was it that you walked in? Thank you. Sorry. We have no NA tonight, so we're a little hobbled. Okay, entertaining nominations for secretary. Do we have a nomination for secretary? Is that, are you saying?
You said Charlene, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Charlene. I renominate Charlene.
Any other nominations for secretary? Nominations are now closed. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have any nominations for treasurer? Or we actually don't need a treasurer, to be honest with you, because we haven't done a treasurer's report. So my recommendation is we don't bother, if that's okay with everybody. Okay, everyone's nodding their head. Okay, so we're not going to do a treasurer. Okay, all righty. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, everybody. Moving back into the order of the agenda, HPD. Sir, thank you very much. Lieutenant, correct? Okay, good. I don't want to get it wrong. Lieutenant Vieira, nice to see you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, my name is Lieutenant Scott Vieira. I'm with the Wahiawa Police Station. I'm the night watch commander, which covers 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning. So I'll read the stats. This is for July 1st till July 22nd I ran. There were 6 assaults, 3 burglaries, 1 robbery, and 9 UEMVs, which are unauthorized entry into motor vehicles or car break-ins. I apologize. I couldn't run the MVCs. I know sometimes we run the motor vehicle collisions. It wasn't coming up on my computer. It might be user error. I apologize. But I know I got a lot of questions. There was a bad accident on the 14th, about a week ago on Kaukuno Road. There was a fatality. Very unfortunate. That's still under investigation. I know they seized the car, so there was some criminal charges brought on the driver. But somebody did lose his life. I think one of the first meetings I came up, my safety tip was to wear your seatbelt, and I can't reiterate, please put on a seatbelt. I scream at my kids all the time. Sometimes I'm in a rush, I forget, I'm driving out of the driveway, just wear your seatbelts. Any question? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so on that same topic, I received an email from one of our constituents, and so they asked if it's possible to start including statistics on tickets and citations that you issue each month in a breakdown of type, speeding, no parking, and locations where they were issued. And I don't know if you keep those stats or not, if that's something you could do for us.
You know, I can check on that. but
Okay.
there is a website, eCocoa. You guys are,
Oh, yeah,
I
I've been on there.
I believe you can check it there, but I'll check and see if, because I know we turn in our citations and it gets to the courts. We got to have some kind of, I'll check on that. Was
Okay,
there any
great.
particular ones? I know you mentioned, like, you guys wanted parking and stuff, or more?
It says speeding, no parking, things like that. You know, we have some real issues with, and I think Board Member Antolini is going to bring it up in a minute, some real issues with illegal parking around, as you can imagine, certain areas.
Okay.
And by the way, you never sent me an email, so I can't email you this information.
Oh, okay.
What's your
I'll-
email ad? I'm going to make you give it to me right now.
So it's S as in Scott, Vieira, and the number 1. So svieira1@honolulu.gov.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, great. I will email this to you so you have more information, you have more details.
Okay.
We're also looking at speed bumps. I've already reached out to DOT on that, and because that portion of Kaukonahua is state, they have full control. So they are actually looking at a plan, and I hope to have something this week, but we'll see. If I do, then I will share that out with the board. Let's see, on Haleiwa Road too, there's a lot of speeding, and this is a complaint, and I've heard this from several people, so I know this isn't just one person just with an issue. This has come from a number of people. Unfortunately, it seems as if some of the beat guys have a tendency to hang out in Kayaka Park, and they're just kind of sitting there, not doing anything. Now, whether they're on break, we don't know, but it's a very long break, according to some people, like well over an hour. I'm sorry. I don't like to be mean-spirited, but I've heard this from actually quite a few people. So I believe it, and it's not a good look for HPD. And it's during the day when we really need them out, you know, doing things. Let's see. Parking, we talked about no parking in areas on Kamehameha, such as by the food trucks, what we call Gecko Gulch over by McDonald's. And let's see, what else? We want HPD to be more proactive and not just reactive, and patrolling and penalizing bad behavior like speeding and parking violations. And as you may be aware, July for us is a really intense month in terms of visitors and just lots of traffic and things. So we feel it and we see it more I think this time of the year especially. So I will write this up for you though, sir, and give it to you so you don't have to worry about all of that. Denise and then Raquel.
Aloha, Lieutenant. This is going to take me about a minute to explain, and it's also for everybody. This will also impact Mr. Gonzer, Matt, and then Councilmember Wyer's office, and it has to do with the Kapo'o or Sharks Cove parking lot right there in front of the Comfort Station, so you know where I'm talking about. So I've been through Malama Pupukea Waimea. We've been meeting with the city parks supervisor, Jason Wool. And Jason has been keeping us informed about the mitigation project for the failing rock wall. So some people have been there, you've seen the little barricades and the caution tape. It's been up for a while, but Jason just let us know on Friday that reconstruction project will start on July 29th. The rock wall is they estimate about 100 feet long that's failing. He said 50% compromised underneath the wall. So it's a serious emergency because that's where the unmarked parking is, but that's where everybody traverses through. They estimate a closing time of 3 months. The cost of the project, put on your seatbelts, $1.2 million. And we know that if this estimate for the timing is 3 months, it'll probably be longer just because it is. And then I think the point is that they believe that they will have to close the entire parking lot, and there's no other way to fit in any, because it's one way and it's
Right.
a berm. The reason I'm raising it is because, and I've talked to Councilmember Wire this afternoon, we need a plan to protect the residents in the area from all the spillover, frustrated tourists who are going to drive by and go like, I can't park there. There's something going on there. I'm going to drive up, this lane. It's already horrible. People have seen on the hub the double parking at Sharks Cove through the parking lot in completely illegal areas. HPD can't solve this. Poor Lisa is working her butt off. She's amazing. This is not, in my view, an HPD enforcement issue. It's a planning issue. So DTS, Matt is willing, Councilmember Wire is willing to kind of take the lead to pull together DTS, Parks, and HPD in a plan that will protect residents from what could be 3 to 5 months of spillover parking, needing to educate residents and educate visitors. But I mention it because there's obviously an HPD component. We have about a week before it
Yeah.
starts, and it is an emergency approval. So folks, it's going to happen. Kykor is the contractor. It's going to happen starting the 29th. They're going to close off the whole parking lot. There might be some side benefits in all of this, but the immediate impact on the community is going to be huge, and people are going to be shocked, and the tourists are going to be, they already are, they'll find any little spot and park illegally.
Right.
So I just wondered if you would commit to working with Councilmember Wire's office and DTS.
I would definitely bring it up to my command, and I guess, yeah, once a project starts, I'd imagine there's going to be some problems. And I guess I'm just kind of thinking out loud. From our standpoint, we'd have to look at what some of the specific problems are. Like, when they have long-term projects, get called. A lot of times, the first thing we'll do, we'll check the permits, make sure they have the right to divert, whatever they're doing, whether it's close the park, obviously they're going to close the parking lot. If they have the permits to divert traffic, road closures, we check those. But if people start parking, like, I would imagine we might get calls, they're going to overflood the Foodland parking lot. We might get calls there. All of the surface streets, the side streets going up to Pupukea. I'll bring it up to my command. The project is coming up. Of course, if you guys live in the area, you see something that can be addressed right there, let us know. Have the beat officers go out there and address it right there, whether it be a warning, citation, education. But I agree, more long-term.
Well, and
solution.
prevention, so we can talk maybe offline, but coming up with a plan so we don't have HPD out there.
And that's all daytime work, I imagine.
Don't know.
Okay, so even like this, we got to work stuff out like that, because I'll definitely bring it to my command, but I work from 7 at night to 6 in the morning. And if the problems are more daytime, that's, something that our command will have to take up in, I guess.
Maybe you could have your command contact Matt Wire's office,
Okay.
Councilmember Wire's office.
Okay,
And just,
or if not, we were at the Waiwa Police Station, Major Gonzalez is there, you can let him know, and, okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Hi.
Real quick, if we can get more during the day enforcement or more patrol around the food trucks across McDonald's and even the ones across the old Kalmara gas station, there's the food trucks in there. So the parking is ending up on the highway.
Okay,
I mean, they're just making their own, but they're on the road.
yeah, I see it
So,
backed up all the time, too.
yeah.
Trying to turn in, the lot's
If we
full.
can, if those
Okay.
guys are truly cruising in kayak, can you have them come over and push everybody?
Yeah.
It's
what's going
getting,
on.
today was kind of bad, so.
Okay.
And I got to say, we've heard from police officers like, oh, well, it's visitors, they're not going to be, we don't care. I'm sorry, I'm going to be blunt. They're breaking the law, and they're making it dangerous, not just for us, but for other visitors as well. It's a dangerous situation. There is no room where Raquel's talking about. You open your door, you're literally in traffic, and we're just waiting for somebody to get nailed. I mean, seriously, we take bets because it's that dangerous. And just because they're here on a visit doesn't give them a buy, in our opinion. So thank you. We really appreciate
And again,
it.
I ask, if you guys are in the area and see something so egregious or call. Don't wait till the meeting or
Oh,
for
we
me-
do. We
Call
do.
911 and, yeah.
We
If
will.
it's something that needs immediate attention, please call and have it addressed.
Okay, Erica?
there.
Yeah, I just want to give you a thank you. So the North Shore Chamber of Commerce, with a lot of local businesses, put on the 4th of July event. It was a huge success, and thankfully it was easier for us to get out because HPD did some really great traffic directing at that light. There was an accident, which of course caused some issue, but you guys handled it. You were there to, support the public and get everybody out of there quickly. So thank you for being there
thanks
for the
for that.
community.
Aloha, Lieutenant. Can you please, I don't know, briefly or share with us, remind us the process for a trespassing?
Okay, so on private property, obviously, if someone calls and wants someone trespassed, the owner or at least a representative has to be there. Like, say it's food land, or if it's someone's house or your yard, you call the police. If the person needs to be there, or even if he's someone that's always going and they left right, long as the representative is there, we document a trespass warning. That's documented that the person was notified. You're not to, be on the premises. Once that is documented, if he returns, he's subject to arrest.
So the warning can come from any officer. It's documented. And if the individual is back on property and it's a new officer coming, does that new officer need to
No.
give another warning?
No. It's normally once we do the warning, there's like I think most private entities or so have their own trespass form,
Yeah.
and that's filled out with the person's name. If possible, they usually take a picture of the person and they have a copy of it documenting that a trespass warning was issued. They get a report number, and if the officer goes and says, "Oh, we don't have the whoever you might be referring to reference the number," and it should be documented that on this date and time, this particular person was given a trespass warning and he should be subject to arrest. If there's problems or it doesn't seem like what I'm telling you, I don't know if there's any updates, ask for a supervisor and get the matter straightened out.
Thank you.
So I have had to do this, Maka, so I want to tell you how it works. I mean, if you get somebody who's trespassing, you usually when you call the police, they're gone, right? And the only way to trespass them is to, when they're on the property, do not let them know you're calling the police. Call the police. You should have a trespassing notice, and you should keep copies and have your own blank ones, like I said. And then only you and the police officer at that time can fill out the form that says they're trespassed. But you literally can't tell them the police are coming because they'll leave.
Yeah, that's correct.
Anybody else? Bob?
How long does a note press pass last? Is it a year for life? How does that work?
You know, I believe it was 1 year. Yeah.
I can tell you, they do arrest them. We had someone that we purchased a property and they are not well and they continue to come back to the property and come inside when it's not locked. And when we call the police, they trespass them. And the first couple times it was warnings, but they have it in record and they've been arresting them and taking them away. They get out the next day, but I mean, there's only so much you can do. At least there's a record.
Okay, community, any questions for HPD? Okay, thank you, Lieutenant. We truly appreciate you coming as always.
Thank you.
Have
good
a nice evening. Aloha. Okay, moving on to Board of Water Supply. I'm happy to report there were no main breaks in our community. We are having our annual Unthirsty Plant Sale at Halaba Xeriscape Garden on Saturday, August 3rd from 9 to 3. We will have vendors selling plants that don't use a lot of water, xeric plants. We will have local vendors, educational booths, including how to do a rain barrel catchment. We'll have free soil conditioner. You'll get to have the manager of the agency fill a bag of soil conditioner for you. So if you want to see Ernie shovel, come on down. And then the Cactus and Succulent Society of Hawaii will have a display as well. So if you have any questions,
The date again?
Saturday, August 3rd, from 9 to 3. So it's free to the public. There's no charge. And then the last thing I wanted to bring up is I passed this out in community. There's some up on the front table here. Back when we were doing our outreach on rates, one of the things we heard from people was we need help, we need assistance. Even though the water portion of the bill isn't the highest part of the bill, people still asked us to look. So since that time, myself and a couple of my coworkers are in a program that's being put on by a group from the mainland about doing assistance programs, looking at what other communities are doing, and how can we bring that here to Hawaii and do something. So we have a survey because we need to collect data. It's always good to have data. So I'm asking everybody to please take the survey and pass it along to your friends and family and have them take the survey. Our goal here is to get a lot of people taking it, but this will help us figure out where to place our energy. Like I know seniors, especially those on fixed incomes, is a high priority for us, but who else out there is in need, and how can we help them? So please take this, please grab one from the front. And if you have any questions, please call me at 808-748-5319. Mahalo. Any questions for me? Nope? Okay, that's the way I like it. Okay, moving on to meeting determination. Okay, so now the rest of our business. So this is where we determine our meeting, date, time, location, and all that other good stuff. So basically, we have the motion in the agenda. North Shore Neighborhood Board will meet on the fourth Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. at Waialua Elementary School. Do we have a motion? Bob, do we have a second? Charlene, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, the next up is the recess schedule. Currently, we recess in August, December, and April. Do we have a motion to accept those recess dates? Bob, do we have a second? Charlene, any discussion? Yes.
My only request is that the NCO put that into the calendar for the neighborhood boards. You know, that calendar that comes out?
They do.
But the recess dates aren't in there.
Oh,
So they just need to make a little note, except for August, December, and April. It just says every fourth.
oh, gotcha. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I
Sub-
gotcha. Okay. Okay, any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. Recess. 9, okay. All righty. And then last, adoption of oral testimony rules. We do a 2-minute rule for everybody. Do I have a motion to accept? Bob, Erica, second? Okay, any discussion? Any abstentions? Yes, everybody? Whatever. Thank you. All in favor? Okay, great. Thank you, everybody, for that. Okay, residents' concerns, 2 minutes. Please come to the front and state your piece. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Larry McElhenney. I have an idea that I'd like to share with the board. A little bit of background first, though. At our community association meeting recently, we talked quite a bit about the traffic situation. You folks talked about a couple of traffic and parking issues. I personally think the traffic and parking problems are at a crisis point and that they need to be addressed immediately. I had an idea a couple hours ago, and I thought, I'm going to go to the neighborhood board and share this idea, and you'll probably tell me I'm full of it, but maybe you won't. Maybe we'll plant a seed that you folks can think about. I propose that before we allow any further development, Turtle Bay, Laie, Sharks Cove, we place a moratorium on any further development in this district. And I thought maybe this board would be a good place for that to originate, that concept. And I'm just asking you folks to please think about it. I don't have a motion drafted or anything like that. But if you think that's an idea that you might want to promote, I encourage you to do so. I remember years ago, I think it was Councilmember Steve Holmes, got a moratorium implemented for this district.
Well,
so
all
it-
I know is Vice Chair Achu just said amen.
Well, good. That's
Okay,
my.
I will add that to our list, okay?
One more thing, if I
Yes.
could. You know, it's really easy to blame Laniakea for the traffic. That's really easy. But it's also a huge mistake because I grant you, you know, Laniakea is a big problem. But the other proposals that I listed, Turtle Bay, so on and so forth, and just the general number of cars is really the root of the problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other residents' concerns, Michelle? Yeah, we do, but but there's lots of things you can do. Go ahead, Michelle.
Keep forgetting I gotta put these on. Aloha, everyone. I'm Michelle Casimiro, the Student Activities Coordinator over at Wailua High and Intermediate School. So, our new school year is about ready to start and begin. So with that, we already have some things coming up that I'd like to make it a point to let you know about. One, next week we will be welcoming new teachers to our campus. Tuesday, all teachers will report. But for our students and parents, more importantly, we have our Kickstart event from 1 to 5 p.m. This event is meant for our students to get data verified, receive lunch bus info, make class due fees, payments, take ID pictures, etc., etc. So it is a really important day for our students that go to our school, okay? School will then begin Monday, August 5th for all 7th graders and new students. But then on Tuesday, the rest of our campus reports to school. First official day of the school year. Grade level assemblies will occur that same week, but the week after we will have our school-wide welcome back assembly where already HOCO theme and sub-themes will be doled out. So yes, HOCO season will be upon us really soon, and I wanted to mention that because our homecoming parade is going to be on September the 19th, which is a Thursday. It usually starts at the rec over here, and it's short, but it goes to our school. And then the day after that is our homecoming game, and it's versus McKinley High School. Okay? Yeah. More details to follow as far as HOCO and other things. Oh, wait. We recess in August, you said. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I think by the time the 4th Tuesday comes around, our homecoming will be done. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, we'll try and get that info out. But we post on our school website. We have Instagram. You know, we try our best to get information out. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be exciting.
Thanks, Michelle. Great to see you,
Thank
as always.
you, everyone.
Okay, any other residents' concerns? Hey, come on up, Alex. Oh, real quick. Oh, got one quick question.
Mahalo, Kaz. You mentioned new teachers, and we're noticed on the news that there is a definite shortage, and the DOE is, bringing in teachers from abroad. Do we have any of new teachers from abroad?
No new teachers from abroad, I believe.
Okay, mahalo.
They're from community or they're transferring.
Mahalo.
So you're welcome. I did want to talk to you later. Yes.
The kickstart date?
Kickstart date is July 30th, which is a Tuesday, next week Tuesday, 1 to 5 p.m. Really huge day for parents. Okay?
Thanks, Michelle.
Okay, thank you,
Appreciate
everyone.
it. Okay, Alex.
Sorry. All right, my name's Alex Call. Just wanted to support the comment by Larry McElhaney, in particular to the elected representatives or the representatives in the room, just an appropriate allocation of taxpayer dollars back into this district. Maybe work with HTA or some other entity to figure out what that tourism traffic looks like. People don't want to be in the city following COVID. They like to be out in the fresh air in the country. So it'd be great to see some tax dollars out here. Another burden on the infrastructure is the military usage, all that heavy equipment going out to Kahuku Firing Range, going out to Dillingham, or sorry, Kawaihapai. You see the roads are beat up, right? They've got these massive trucks chewing up the roads. I would hope DOD would be paying some more than its fair share, in fact, for keeping the roads. I just had to replace the bearings on my truck a week and a half ago. And I'm sure a lot of other folks in the same situation. So I just want to support that. And then finally, I am interested in joining the Parks Committee.
We'll get there.
Okay, I'm just up against bedtime, so just wanted to put my name out there. All right. Thank you very much.
Don't worry, we got you. Okay. If there are no other residents' concerns, we will move on to setting up our committees, and we'll take it out of order in deference to Alex there. So we will actually start with the Parks Committee, which is on the backside of your agenda. So everyone, I apologize for the rather marked up, but some people were a little late. We won't mention who. So the first one we're going to look at is the Parks Committee. Board Member Antolini has graciously accepted to be on the Parks Committee chair, and so she has a roster. So go ahead, Board Member.
Okay, I'm looking what you wrote here too. So I don't know if happy to chair the Parks Committee is the right word, but I'm honored. So let me say who we think the members are, and then kind of what we anticipate, and to make sure that everybody can participate. So Kathleen will be ex officio, and Raquel will be on the committee. Debbie Aldrich. Debbie down there? Debbie, yeah. Leif Anderson agreed to be on it. Erica, until she says otherwise. And then Alex. Okay, so that's the committee right now. And we would like to go forward with that composition. The plan for the committee, at least my plan, but it's subject to our first meeting together. My idea is that we meet at the different parks in our area, so that we're meeting on the ground and really looking at the facilities and meeting with people in that particular neighborhood who have concerns. This is all agendized, right? Sunshined. And that we would rotate through. So in a year, we'd get 12 or more parks, assuming we meet every month. But one of the first tasks would be to go back for the prior chairs or people who are involved in the prior committees. I've already started to do that, and pull forward information from the past so we don't start from scratch. Have those meetings and prioritize the issues that are appropriate for the board, for the committee to bring back to the board for prioritization of the parks needs throughout our district, which is a huge task. So we're not going to do it all in a couple meetings. So that's the basic plan. But we're going to be, at least in my view, a roving committee meeting outside in the parks or in the parks facilities.
My question is, I'd like to join the parks.
Okay. All right. We're recruiting. Okay, and then the meetings will be open to the public. And so, open to the public and open to anybody who wants to join. So my sense, again, is like, say we meet at Kayaka, we'll let the board members know. Everybody will know, and folks from the area can come down and talk story.
Okay, great. Do you want to make a motion?
Do I make the motion?
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion to form the Parks Committee with the aforementioned members.
Okay, Erica seconds. Board members, any discussion? Any questions? All those in favor say aye. Any abstention? Any noes? Okay, thank you. Thank you, board member. All right, moving back to the order of agenda. So you can go now. Thank you, Alex, for serving. Moving back to the Agricultural Committee, Board Member Achu.
Okay, on the Agriculture Committee, we have myself, Leif Anderson, co-chair Casey Alexander, Ron Weidenbach, Boyd Reedy, and Antia Miller. Meetings are second Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. at the Wailua Community Association, and the public is welcome. Yeah. What'd you say? Okay. I make a motion to form the committee with the previously, what? Previously mentioned members.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay, Denise seconds. Okay, hold on one second. R-A-D-A. Sorry, guys, I got to write this down so we don't forget. Okay, board members, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Thank you very much. Thank you, Board Member Achu. Okay, Maka, you're next.
Mahalo. Health and Emergency Preparedness Committee to be chaired by myself. Members would include Mrs. Napua Casson-Fisher, Antia Miller, Nash Witten, and ex officio Chair Pahinui. Our meeting date and time would be the third Tuesday, so the Tuesday before our neighborhood board meetings at 6 p.m. Via Zoom, and having the NCO office as the location.
Okay, could we have a motion, please?
So moved.
Okay. Do we have a second? Denise seconds. Any conversation, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. DA second. Okay, final committee will be the cesspool committee, of which I am chairing. Cesspool committee's members are myself, Bob Lanau, Casey Alexander, TJ Quersma, Raquel Achu, Michael McNulty, and Bill Anderson. I make a motion that we accept the cesspool committee with the members that we have mentioned. Do we have a second? Maka. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Thank you very much. Okay, one other item under cesspool. I was invited to join an advisory group at the city for stormwater and sewer. They're bringing back the stormwater utility fee. They're studying it, and then they have to increase sewer rates. So they've asked me to sit on it, and so I just am asking for this board to approve that appointment. And Bob, do you make a motion to, okay, do we have a second? Denise, do we have any conversation, any discussion or questions? Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much, appreciate it. Okay, moving right along to, now we were going to do a little thing for Ben Devine tonight as a thank you for all of his hard work at Kauai Hapai Airfield. He pretty much kept that thing moving and together, and it was not an easy task. There were a lot of various viewpoints, but he managed to keep everyone moving in the same direction. And ultimately, you have the article in front of you. They signed the 50-year lease, which is great for us. Unfortunately, Ben broke his heel, poor thing, and he has to keep his foot elevated. So we're going to defer this item until September, and then Representative Peruso will provide a little declaration or whatever, a little certificate for him. And then we all get a chance to thank him for all of his hard work on that. It was a good 4 to 5 years of a lot of very difficult work. So that brings us to our final item under board business. We have Chad Middleton with us again tonight, and he is going to do an update on the responses to the draft EA. They did come before our board. The board did support it with a bunch of questions, and so now Chad's going to give us the update. Executive Director Richard Pizzulo sends his apologies. He had planned on being here tonight, but he has a sinus infection and is not feeling very well, so we understand and totally support him staying home and taking better care of himself. So, Chad, it's all you. Yeah, go ahead.
Aloha, everyone. I have some copies of the presentation I'll leave up here. All right, aloha kauko. I'm Chad Middleton. I'm the Director of Operations. With me tonight is Eric Pakwitz. He's our consultant with our entitlements programming for this project. This is a grant that we received, and one of the reasons we're here tonight is to update the community and the board that we are going to be applying for our special management area permit, and maybe in August, most likely in September. But that's one of the requirements, is that we notify everyone that that'll be our next step. And that'll be concurrent with our Conservation District land use permit. So both of those permit processes are going to be starting. Eric, we go to the next slide. So today I just wanted to do a quick update. I'm going to go pretty fast because I think most people have heard about the project. But I did have some updates, so we'll try and get to the updates. And we do have a way to stay in contact at the end. So just briefly, our project team, Richard Pizzulo is our executive director at Hi'ipaka LLC, the steward of Waimea Valley. The not-for-profit was created to own and manage Waimea Valley. Myself, the Wilhelm Group, represented by Roxanne Kalashan. RIM Architects is our architect. Principal is Eddie Ebert. And Muniko Hiraga, Eric's here tonight. He is our associate planner. And Honua Consulting is doing our Federal 106 and State 6E cultural assessment, and that's Tricia Kehaolani Watson. Once again, our project purpose, we were awarded a $3.75 million grant by the U.S. Economic Development Administration for capital improvements at Waimea Valley. The project includes various improvements to enhance community economic resilience, improve our visitor experience, upgrade deteriorated infrastructure, and improve safety. The project to create a Hawaiian educational site at Pu'ukua includes an agroforestry garden and a traditional Hawaiian hale. This is the area that has been recently cleared at the front of the valley. To renovate our library area, to create a resource center for contract artisans and docents in the valley, we will have to demolish the existing building to construct a new pavilion and install an office container. And this is an update. Previously, we had hoped to restore and renovate that building, but unfortunately, the damage to the posts in the building were beyond repair. In our visitor center, we have several projects to expand the square footage of our gift shop, to add a cultural walk as visitors enter the valley, to expand the women's bathroom and build a new men's bathroom in the visitor center area, to extend our pavilion area to accommodate up to 350 guests for our luau, and to enhance the pavilion kitchen and improve the bar lighting and sound for the luau. So our draft EA was published in April in the environmental notice. During the 30-day comment period, 18 comment letters were provided, and our final EA will address these comments, particularly regarding conservation easements of the property and the conservation land use. And mahalo, Eric, for creating our draft EA. The big update that we're here tonight to share with everyone, previously we had shared that our traffic study had indicated that there was a traffic signal warrant. What we're happy to report is that through the comment period, Hawaii Department of Transportation commented that should the paid parking at the front of the valley that's used for beach parking be removed, that we would not need to implement the traffic mitigation, i.e. the traffic signal. So hearing from the community that the traffic signal was not a desired improvement, we determined that it would be good and we would remove the paid beach parking at the start of construction. Yay. Just to clarify a little bit, the community parking will still be allowed under this agreement. The agreement hasn't been created, but the idea would be that for the swim events and other community events that use those front lots, that there would be an exception for those uses. So next steps on the project, our final EA will be published August 8th, I believe. And then we'll move on after that is approved, hopefully, to our SMA major permit submitted to DPP late 2024. And then, as I said, concurrently, the Conservation District land use permit around 2025. And I think, Eric, maybe next slide. So just timeline. So this puts us construction after the entitlement permitting and the building permitting process is complete, starting, it says June 2025. We believe that's when all the permitting will be complete, but most likely because of our summer season, we won't actually start the major construction until September 2025. And last slide. And this is a QR code. You can also email me. My contact information is on our website. But if you'd like to stay informed, just any updates, I'll be updating the email list when we publish our permits and when we get any comment letters. Thank you.
Okay, you can leave that on if you need to go back to a slide or anything. Okay, board members, any questions? And please come back to the front so I can see you. Maka, nice try. Sash, I think you got the phone up.
So what's the current numbers for the luau? You said expanding to 350, but what is the current number?
Currently, we have 2 luau shows of 220 people each. And so the expanded number would switch to just the 1 show in the evening with a total attendance of 350.
Are you guys planning to use local contractors?
So the concession right now is held by Toa Luau. They're from Laie. And I'm sorry, are you asking about the luau concession or the construction?
Construction.
Okay. Yeah, for the construction, it's going to be a sealed bid process following the EDA guidelines. So because it is federal funding, it'll be advertised in midweek, and we're looking at maybe a website as well to advertise it on. And that sealed bid process would be open to everybody.
What I would ask when you get ready to do that, if you could send me the information, then I can share it with the board members, and then if they have friends or know construction people who might be interested, that way you get it far and wide. So
That'd be great. And I'm most likely going to be back again because I think there's several times that I'm required to come.
good thing
update
we
you
like
folks.
you, Chad.
At least once a year, but
No, we appreciate that, Denise.
Mahalo, Chad, for the update. We love having you back. So a couple of questions. One is currently I and other people have seen parking at Pu'ukua. And just could you comment on that? Because that was confusing people about why there's parking at Pu'ukua.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a mistake and it won't be happening.
Okay, thank you for that because, well, you know what the comment was probably. And then this office container, it sounds like you can't demo and rebuild it. What is an office container? One of those trailer pull-ons?
So we have an office container currently on site, and it's basically like a shipping container
Oh, where the
that
office
they
is.
made an office.
Yeah.
And so because we can't renovate that building,
Okay.
it has 2 offices in the back right now. And so what we do in that space is we currently use that for making our signs, and it has like an engraver in it. So that's probably the main use that would be in that container space.
Okay, but it won't look like a container after you dress it up, I hope.
Yeah, and it's pretty hidden in the back there.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, thanks. That just caught my eye. And then, thank you about the parking. Last comment, which is kind of what you responded to for Sash's question. Folks have asked about the luau, whether or not it's Hawaiian or PCC style, and that kind of, I keep hearing that. And I was passing that along, the concern that it's kind of becoming another PCC rather than halau hula.
That is absolutely true. It's a Polynesian review, which is, I'm assuming, what the market is for. There is a new program to bring more hula in the valley, which is our Ahu Hula o Waimea, and that is happening once a week throughout the summer on Saturdays, and more information's on our website. And that's usually in the Upper Meadow area. So that's part of our general admission into the valley, includes the hula in the valley. The luau is a separate concession, and it's something that has been part of our business plan, our operating plan to increase revenue and visitors to the valley. But there hasn't been a stipulation for what the content is, although we do have, like, I guess I would say, an editorial comment that's allowed. So if there's things that are disrespectful, I think that would be important to bring forward to Richard's attention.
Raquel?
Thank you. Just piggybacking off of Denise's question. So the office trailer, that's going to stay. It's going to, once you reconstruct the pavilion, the office trailer will be permanent.
So the office trailer is going to be at the resource center site, and at this point, it's a temporary structure. Mainly, it's to house this use because we have to demo that building. We don't have a location to do our sign engraving for the botanical collection. So I would say it's semi-permanent. It's being permitted
Okay.
as part of the project.
Okay.
But it isn't a permanent structure. Our conservation easement limits new footprints in the valley. So this is an existing footprint site that we're hoping to still utilize for this, to do this work. So yeah, I don't know in the future if it would be a different structure or if they'll need a container or,
Okay.
yeah, I think that's.
Okay. And then just really quick, just throwing it out there, with the luau, in hopes that there's opportunity to provide a real genuine menu of traditional, real Hawaiian food and not the typical commercially tourist type of menu, because there's a lot of very talented local families that do food, the real stuff anyway. Just a thought.
Okay, thank you.
Charlene?
Hi there, thank you. You know, I have been to the Tau Luau as well as the Polynesian Luau, and I thought it was relatively well done, and I think that was when it was $250. But I also noticed that it was kind of geared towards tourists because there's no Kama'aina discount if I wanted to or if I wanted to take my family. So I was a bit concerned about that when I paid full dig. And then, yes, as Raquel says, the menu is very continental, shall we say. I mean, it was very nicely done. There was definitely some cultural things in there, but they're still sitting, they're sitting in the pavilion on the tables and all that stuff. So I think it needs, I was just concerned if is this just for the tourists? Are we never going to get a Kama'aina rate for locals who want to go or take their family? Just seems maybe it needs to be pointed a little bit more. Thank you.
I think that's valid. I can take that comment back to them.
I've heard good things about the luau. I've not been. Regarding the signage, the engraving and all that, I'd really be interested in participating and helping with that, because when I've gone in the park, they're hidden in the bushes. You can't read them anymore. The white lettering is now all green or red, depending on if it's endangered and that sort of thing. So you're welcome to connect.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, and there'll be some new signs as well. We're trying a contractor as well. We have 5,000 labeled accessions, and in the past, David Orr has done all of our engraving, and so he's reduced his hours now. So he's still doing quite a bit, but we're looking at another way to get the signs updated.
I know David, so he could kind of show me what's up, too.
That would be great.
And I'm retired,
Fantastic.
gratefully.
I actually forgot. I now sit on your ahahui, so I apologize. I totally forgot. I've only been to one meeting, so. But I feel now that gives me a reason to say what I'm going to say. You can take it back. First of all, I agree with the comments. I think there is space for a truly Hawaiian luau that doesn't have to cater to, more Polynesian style. And I think there is space in this island for that. And I think it's lacking. And to Raquel's point about the food as well, a true Hawaiian menu versus continental, as Charlene said. The other thing, too, is, the plant collections are what makes that valley. And, as Debbie just pointed out, you can't read the signs. They're faded. Plants are dying. And I hope the focus of the valley doesn't shift from heavy visitor, let's have a luau and a gift shop, versus what Waimea, what at least I think all of us love and care for it, is the fact that is this beautiful sacred green space that protects things that are no longer in existence sometimes anyplace else in this state. So why we understand the plans and we get it, and yeah, you guys got to make money, and we do appreciate the beach parking going bye-bye. Thank you, that's huge. Don't lose sight of who you are and what you are, because I kind of sometimes feel that there's a drift. And it's easy to drift, and you don't even know you're drifting until you're over here. It's like erosion, and we don't want you guys to get eroded. So.
Well, thank you for the comment. Thank you for joining our Aha Hui. I will share with you that our mission is to preserve and perpetuate the human, cultural, and environmental resources of Waimea Valley for generations through education and stewardship. And that's our mission. So we've just completed a strategic planning process and a 5-year business operating plan. In both of those documents, it talks about the mission to do those things. And while we do need to keep everybody employed and coming to work and participating, our goal has been to refocus every day on those things. And the only thing I can say about the education part is we do get an opportunity with so many people coming to the Valley to do a lot of great education and outreach. So that is a nice silver lining to all the visitors.
Well, just consider us your conscience. I know Uncle Bob has been your conscience for many years. Community, any questions for Chad on yes, Andrea, please come to the front. Thank you, Chad. Nice presentation.
Thank you for your presentation. Quick question, how many parking spaces total approximately how many cars could fit if the place was packed?
Thanks, Andrea.
So we have several parking areas. So we have our employee back parking lot is about 40 spaces. We have our main visitor center lot is about 70 spaces. We have our outer dirt parking lot that's roughly 100 spaces, but they're unmarked. So that's really kind of depends how they park in there. And then we have a third lot that's usually on reserve. It's a paved lot just to the left as you enter the valley, and that's another 30 spaces. The outer lots, the Landmark lot and the Cullen lot. The Landmark lot is the adjacent to the river. These are the two lots that were previously being used as the beach parking. And I will share that the intention right now is to continue to use them intermittently until the start of construction, which was 2025. So I don't think we're going to cold stop that today. So you will probably still see folks out there. So the Landmark lot is 40 cars, and then the Cullen lot, which is on the Kohuku side, is about 30 cars. But again, those are unmarked, kind of grassy areas.
So Denise, how many is that? I saw you writing down numbers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 260.
Oh, thanks, Ash. 270. Okay, thank you. We appreciate that. Any other questions? Okay, seeing. Okay, go ahead.
I just had one question about the parking. So you have special places for tour buses to park, right? So that saves a bunch of little parking spaces.
Yes.
And how many people fit on those tour buses? Just out of curiosity.
Sure. So we have about, I haven't counted those. Let's see.
I mean, how many people
I have
per
about
bus?
10 spaces for the, I think they're like 20 passenger. They're the smaller buses. Those are really popular right now. And then for the bigger buses, they kind of end up in that overflow lot that's on reserve, the lot 3. And those buses carry around 40, the big motor coaches. And we typically have, I want to say, 2 to 3 of those a day right now.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Chad. Thank you, Eric. Oh, now you have
So, mahalo, Chad. Not a question for you. It's just, you can, mahalo. In transition, I would like to appreciate Waimea Valley and Hi'ipaka LLC for the things they're doing, these presentations. And, you know, here in our backyard across the street, we could have presentations and we could have discussions, but there's no dialogue. Here in our neighborhood, there's potential for something like that to be, and there are concerned community members that want to make sure that doesn't happen. So Waimea Valley, with their mission and their values and us as their conscience, are working towards that and doing the things, and so I appreciate that. I'd also like to extend and say mahalo to the buses, because I think the buses are what we'd want more than just the FIT, right? Just the individual vehicles. And as we collaborate and conversate around this idea of how can our neighborhood feel more of the benefits than the pilikia or the problems, I think Waimea Valley can be a shining example for our state. So, along for the ride. Mahalo nui.
Thank you, Maka. Appreciate that. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate you coming as always. We've been lucky we can squeeze you in. Okay, moving on. I don't see anyone from the Army here tonight, so moving on to Matt Conser.
Aloha, good evening. Congratulations again, Chair and Vice Chair. Community members, Matt Gonzer, Executive Director for the Mayor's Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency, here representing the administration tonight. There were a couple of questions that unfortunately are still agencies requesting additional time, and I'm looking directly at Board Member Caslon Fisher. This is in regards to the Department of Community Services core program. And the specific question was, what, if any, activities or what kinds of services have been conducted out here in the board's area. They're requesting an extension. I'm uncertain. No, I'm uncertain if they're tallying or what the delay is here, but unfortunately, nothing to report at this time. Though not here tonight, member Alexander had asked questions about certain flags out in the field at Haleiwa Beach Park, and was just concerned, does that mean there's a project coming up? The answer is no, there's not a project coming up. There's actually a new staff person that was being trained and onboarded to know where the sprinklers were in the field so that they were better prepared to, fix some spigots when they go. So there's a lot of manual irrigation out there, so a lot of it is like actually going out and putting the apparatus there. So that was more training, on-the-job training. But once trained up, those flags don't need to be there. The chair mentioned this with respect to the speed humps and requests for similar traffic calming. They're called rapid flashing beacons. These things that allow great notice for when someone's trying to cross the road. But the speed bumps in question in this area are state DOT jurisdiction. So unfortunately, I'm not able to answer on that specific question. The more juicy question was when we had our town hall a couple of months ago, member Antolini requested just, what was the list of issues that departments are looking into to make sure that they can get back with the neighborhood board up here. So I'm just going to go through the list of those top 7 specific themes or specific issues and which department and which individual is a good point of contact. So the first was the Land Use Ordinance Bill 64, specifically interest in the agricultural component of that. The Land Use Ordinance obviously is more than just the specific agricultural uses, but obviously that's with the Department of Planning and Permitting and Director Apuna. There was a specific question about a dog park in the general Waialua area. I don't know what research is being done to address the issue, but obviously that's within the Department of Parks and Recreation and Director Thielen. There was question or concern, ongoing concern actually, about Ali'i Beach Park flooding, and that agency that really would be best positioned to answer is the Department of Design and Construction, even though that deputy director is now the deputy director for the Department of Planning and Permitting. Brian Gallagher is still the best point of contact for that specific information. North Shore Stables, again, that's more of a land use matter, and that's with the Department of Planning and Permitting and Director Apuna, again, frequent flyer for issues up here. Obviously, ongoing discussion around the shared responsibility for stream maintenance and where the city does have jurisdiction and responsibility and where we don't. But generally, that's with our Department of Facility Maintenance and Deputy Director Warren Mamizuka. There was, I believe, more of like a request or an offer to coordinate on use of space or malama of some space for a Waialua farmers market. And our markets through the People's Open Market, if it's a city-sponsored or city-coordinated market, is within the Department of Parks and Recreation. So again, that's Director Thielen. And then lastly, an old bill, which I don't remember what the ordinance is anymore at this point, but at that time, it was Bill 38 regarding tour buses. This is sort of a twofer. Department of Parks and Recreation, obviously, because it's activities within the park areas, Director Thielen, and then Honolulu Police Department, though no specific, but you all know the right folks up here. So I know that's not really information on what's been done or what's been discussed since the May meeting, but I wanted to make sure we provided the highlights in case you haven't gone back to the videotape.
Is there a way I can get that list just
Sure.
so I can share it with the board members?
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
great. That would be very helpful. Thank you.
Yep. And then unfortunately, there were 2 more questions that agencies have requested additional time, and that was member Antolini's concerns regarding pop-up roadside vendors. And member Fitzsimmons was asking about HPD enforcement, youth on motorcycles, e-bikes, etc. So unfortunately, nothing to report there. And then the last one was member Lyons is not here. He was requesting one of these amazing resources at the city, which is Zoo Poo. So our friends at the zoo generate a fair amount of waste, but I'm maybe bad news for you all, but good news for the zoo is that it's all accounted for and it's being put to good use down in Waikiki at the zoo. So unfortunately, there's not much available, and really, I think he was asking if they could truck up a bunch, which wouldn't happen anyway. But yeah, that concludes the report for this month, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Board members, questions for Matt? Questions, Denise, then Bob.
Aloha, Matt. Thank you for the really good report. Appreciate it. One of the other issues at the town hall that was huge, as you know, is the North Shore First Responder Center at Sharks Cove. And my recollection, it could be fuzzy, is that nearly everybody in the room stood up in support. Was I right? And then we had this incredible petition laid out. So I didn't hear that on your list, and it would be great to have an update. Unfortunately, it'll have to be September on what the mayor's efforts are to acquire that property. Am I imagining things? But everybody stood up, right, at the meeting. There was a big applause and a lot of people standing up. So
But I'm going to add it to the list because Chair asked for the list.
Yeah.
So that'll be number
Thank you.
8, but a specific question to be responded to.
What is
Yeah.
the follow-up from the mayor's office on the ask, which was to acquire the property? Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can watch the tape again.
Yeah.
So I had mentioned that I thought things were too crooked, and everybody flinched. But the mayor referred me to his facilities maintenance guy, and so there's a lot of posts that are bent and signs that are look moo-moo, and it's just tacky. And I'm just kind of
Street
curious
signs?
who's going to take care of that. And he said, well, I can't take care of it. He told me why he couldn't take care of it, even though it's his job, because the stop signs stop him. He says, I have so many stop signs to put in, I couldn't possibly straighten crooked poles. So anyway, that's just how the city works.
Was that a question? Okay. Noted.
It's a complaint.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions, board members, community?
No, I don't mean to. I do mean to jest, but not really. Like, is there a specific location? Like, because that's something I can actually take back.
There are lots of specific locations.
Bob, what would be helpful is when you see one, note it and then shoot me an email and then I can send it to Matt. Because it is helpful when we have a specific location for something.
I don't disagree with you. However, I would think the city could hire somebody with some eyes, say, hey, that sign is bent without getting into a process.
I don't disagree. I'm offering to help you, sir.
A
I am
great way
offering
to
to
get
help.
on the record and to track work orders is to use the 311 app.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, that gets it into a system that actually then gets people's eyes on it to address it, and it
Good
allows
note.
for
Good
a
to know.
communication back and forth.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Any questions, community? Yes, Franco, please. Right here, Franco.
Mount Kaala, the special monitoring of the permits and of, I guess, the DPP department. Please put that on the front burner and not the back one. Please don't forget about it. They're exceeding Mount Kaala. The permitting, yeah.
To make sure that the stuff that's happening up on the side of the mountain's being permitted. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Franco, appreciate
So
that.
there's work being done, you're saying?
Yeah, there is work being done, and if we can get you some specifics, we will. We know that helps. Okay. Thank you, Matt. It's a pleasure to see you as always.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ryan, thank you for waiting, sir.
I'm not as tall as everybody else, but anyway, thank you for having me. Kelly is not able to be here tonight. She wasn't feeling well, so unfortunately, you don't get the one with the good hair. You get the one with the no hair tonight. So, hey, we got the same barber. We got a 5-head and a 6-head. Anyway, but she did leave me with a report back for the board. So I'm going to get started with that. I guess last month, resident Diana Simmons requested traffic calming measures at the intersection of Naluahi and Farrington Highway. Kelly did some follow-up with that per Department of Transportation. This portion of Farrington Highway is under the state DOT.
And I did hear from Shelley Kunishige at DOT, and I will share this email with the board, and they are going to look into it. So you can report back to Diane. Thank you.
And her notes aren't clear on this, but it could be from the same resident. Haleiwa Road near the boat harbor, traffic calming, same resident. Traffic calming measure installation request has been also sent to DTS for follow-up. They're still not, Kelly's not sure still if this stretch of road is under city jurisdiction.
It is.
Okay, so she's following up. I'll let her know though. In addition, Haleiwa Road speed bump installation at Haleiwa Elementary. That's a state issue again, and it's pending with state DOT.
And they're looking into it, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next, board member Antolini. I guess you asked for Lania Kea parking drawings. Kelly emailed it to you. You should have been in receipt of that. Board member Lenao asked for public facilities map of Hanapohaku. Kelly emailed that to you on 7/19 as well. Let's see. And that is about it. I believe HPD covered the traffic accident at Pa'ala. So, yeah, but that's it. That's all she had in her report.
Okay, great. Board members, questions? Bob?
So what is the status on getting a public facilities map listing for the Hanapohaku property?
You know, I don't know. What I'll do is I'll go back and I'll ask Kelly what we can do for that, but. Oh, okay. That was in your email? Okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
Community, no, oh, you're doing great, Ryan. Thank you. You're doing great. Any questions for Ryan to take back to Kelly?
Not a question for Ryan, just a question for Board Member Antolini. Have you been in contact? I'm sure you have. And to what extent have you been in contact with Councilmember Wire's office regarding Kuilima, Turtle Bay, and all the ongoings? And is there anything that Ryan can update us?
Okay, the answer is yes. I talked to Councilmember Wire about it today. Maybe I can say a few things, share with, and then Ryan can share. So the new owners at Kuilima Turtle Bay, there are 2 new owners. On the Kahuku side is a new owner called Arete Collective, company out of Utah. They purchased Resort Residential 3 and Hotel 2. They have long-term leases on both golf courses, and they also purchased a parcel called B2, which is going to, they project, be a new clubhouse. They're also planning a road to connect Kuilima Drive and their Resort Residential. In short, their Resort Residential right now, they're waiting for building permits for Phase 1, which is the first 4 condo buildings. And then I'll go back to that in just a second. The whole rest of the resort was announced a month or 2 ago, being purchased by Host. Host owns Marriott. Marriott owns Ritz-Carlton. It'll be rebranded. The existing hotel is a Ritz-Carlton. So Host bought the bulk of Turtle Bay for $725 million and change. Councilmember Wire has had several meetings with Arete Collective, is very much in the loop and has been providing very useful information to those of us who have been meeting about in particular, the process for ensuring community benefits if and as the project moves forward or not. So that's my answer. I'm super appreciative of the staff providing information because there is this big city process component to this whole, it's not just phase one, but there's a lot on the horizon. Yeah.
And it's not necessarily, it's complicated. That project is complicated. As Board Member Antolini mentioned, there's two developers. One developer is what they call a guest developer. That's Arete. The main developer is Host. We haven't gotten to meet with them yet, but we are meeting with community members, and we have met with Arete as well. Just because there was a prior unilateral agreement that's, about almost 30 years old now, 40 years old. So some of the conditions that existed back then and conditions and triggers that existed back then don't exist now. And some of the community's wants or needs have changed as well along the way. So we're working with community members, Board Member Antolini, I think there's Ralph Macayao out in Kahuku. We're working with them to try and bring all parties to the table eventually once Host gets their operation set up here. From what we understand, they purchased the property, but they're still not really ready to move forward with any new development things. Arete might be. So we're hoping to get them to bring Host to the table a little bit quicker because Arete has some definite plans that they want to start moving forward with.
Thank you, Ryan. I want to add one more thing. So Kahuku Community Association had a community meeting last week on the 16th, and then Sunset Beach Community Association the following night. And Jessica Dos Santos, who's a Kahuku community member, prepared a very extensive and informative PowerPoint, so you can let me know if you haven't seen it. She's been sharing it widely along with a Google form to get community input. And Arete has committed to a community meeting on August 9th, which is Friday, August 9th, in Kahuku, to be co-hosted by Kahuku Community Association, Sunset Beach Community Association. So format is still pending, but that commitment's been made, and I really encourage, and I talked to Councilmember Wire about it today, encourage everybody, August 9th, Friday, come to Kahuku. Learn more about what's going on, at least from that perspective, yeah.
So I just do want to be clear about this board's role in this. It doesn't fall within our board boundaries. However, it still matters to us because it has a huge impact, especially on the Sunset Beach area. And they are a large employer. They employ people all across the North Shore. So we've always taken an active interest in it, but at the same time, we also give respect to the Kahuku community who is right there. So just want to be clear about that. Okay, any other questions for Ryan? Maka, anything else?
Not for Ryan. I appreciate your responses, and I just wanted to inquire, Chair. I'm sorry, anybody else?
Yeah.
Inquire, Chair, if it might be possible to invite Ms. De Los Santos to provide that presentation for further awareness of our community, for our community.
Yeah, I can add it to the list, and we will see how September goes.
Mahalo.
Thank you. Okay. I do not see either our Senator or Rep. Quinlan here, but as always, we have Representative Peruso. So great to see you. Yay.
I'm not short. Aloha, Chair, board members. So quickly, Kauai Haupai and the resolution of that situation is already alluded to and mentioned folks, not only the affected folks, but also people in the broader community should have received a letter from our office kind of diving into the details, which I won't discuss here, but if you want to talk to me about it offline, I can. Primarily around how Aqua is going to take over the water infrastructure. On July 9th, we had a community meeting over at Aveo Veo Park around CRB response. So essentially it was a CRB response 102 because we had 101 in this neighborhood board meeting. And what we started to do is organize really HUIs in communities. So different areas and different sets of neighbors are using different strategies. And what we really want to do is collect information about who's involved in those HUIs, who's leading them, what strategies they're using, so that we can kind of elevate that work to the level of the governor and the folks who are making the decisions about budgeting, so that when there are claims made about the lack of capacity, that we can show, like, actually our community is very much ready for these resources. So if you are involved in that kind of work, or if you're online and you're involved in that kind of work, please look at our representative's Facebook page or Instagram page, or call our office, and I'll offer that information at the end of this. I just returned from a conference on restorative aquaculture, and so I'm looking forward to more conversations around that, and we'll be working on policy around that, and Todd Lowe in the Department of Ag is very involved in that work, so it also connects actually to our wastewater work in interesting ways. We can talk about that later. We had a meeting with Erica, thank you so much, and it was really a response to a way in which I was quoted in Civil B around the landlord-tenant code. And we are, as a result of that conversation, Councilmember Wire and I are going to have a forum around land use and housing August 12th. It'll be at Wahiawa Elementary from 6 to 7:30. And we really want to have it be a first in a series of forums where we start to get everybody on the same page, both about the legislation that was just passed, like what does it do, and then also what are the implications for our county? What are the ways in which our county can take that legislation? And so please attend that if you're able to, and if not, it will be live streamed on Olelo and also taped and then available for later viewing. I watched every night of the testimony on the military lease renewal. So there are many people in this room who were either at the Kahuku meeting or at the Wahiawa meeting. And I wanted to just remind folks that testimony, the written testimony, is due on August 7th. And it was 5 hours of testimony or more every night. So I think it was really important that that community engagement happened. And then also, I wanted to say, legislators get a budget for communication. So what we try to do with that budget is we send out newsletters, but we also create an email list, and Yvonne works really diligently to make sure that relevant information is captured for the community, and resources are made available to you. So if you have not yet subscribed to our newsletter and you'd like to, please see Yvonne, or you can call our office at 586-6700, or you can always also call my cell phone number. It's 808-351-0980, and I'm available for questions.
Okay, that letter regarding Kauai Haipai, when did that go out?
It went out before the press conference, so I want to say...
I never got a copy.
Okay, we can look at our mailing list. It went to 800 people.
Okay, if it only went to your district, I don't live in your district, so I wouldn't have gotten it.
Yvonne knows the answer to that.
Then, yeah, I wouldn't have gotten it.
Okay, we can also publish that to our social media pages.
Okay, send it to me and I'll put it on our Facebook page too.
Can do.
All right. And then what time does that housing on the 12th start?
It starts at 6 and it goes to 7:30.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Sure. Our office number is 586-6700, and Yvonne is very responsive. And my cell number is 351-0980.
Board members, any questions? Yes, Charlene.
Hi, thank you so much. So I'm getting the impression that anything that does with Cam Highway is state, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but I know we're doing Lania K starting in September is what I heard. And then I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but years ago when they put the new lights at Foodland, we have a major backup at Foodland almost every day. And I don't know, it's because the timing of the lights, you know, the Cam Highway part's really short, and the Pupukea part is like long, because I just find it's backing up every day at Foodland. And I just think that's kind of interesting because it didn't used to unless we just had that many more cars. It's possible, but I see like one car in the Pupukea coming down Pupukea, and then look at a long line of cars on the other side. And I just had one other question. Can we ever find out the number of rental cars on this island? Ever?
So I did give you an answer to that question that was provided by our house, the chair of the housing committee. And I can go back to my notes and, yeah.
Read your minute.
And then I will also say, we're happy to call the DOT.
Actually, it's DTS that does the timing on the lights, so Matt was busy writing it down.
Excellent. That's so great.
Complicated, yes. That's why they call it called a joint traffic management building.
Okay.
Go ahead, Saj.
Speaking of lights, can we add one more? The one in Haleiwa that was made for sugarcane trucks, but we don't have sugarcane trucks no more. It just backs up traffic.
Oh, that's
If we
true.
can
Yeah.
just take that light out, my request.
Okay, great. That one is on Kamehameha. That part of Kamehameha is county going through Haleiwa. You may have to reach out to Kamehameha Schools, though, on that one, Matt. So, thank you. Well, not you directly, but go ahead, Raquel.
I just want to say thank you for always coming to our meetings, because it's very nice to have someone from the state here. And very consistently. So this, I should have asked this of HFD as well, but this, I know it's state highway down there towards Mokuleia. A lot of the poles, the electrical poles, are leaning, and they are surrounded by brush.
They're leading?
Leaning.
Oh, leaning.
So
Okay.
some of them are very old, they're in disarray. So just as a prevention, because as I'm watching the news tonight, I see Kauai so prepared. And I go to Mokuleia and I'm cringing. So
Yeah.
I think that's an
I think
issue.
we can reach out to HICO, actually, and yeah, can.
Thank you.
We'll find out.
Thank you. And I just wanted, since we have our state person up, I will read this text that I got from Shelley Kunoshige at DOT. This has to do with the paving questions that I keep getting. They've been brought up numerous times at our board meeting. And she says, I have been informed that we can only do day walk for the Kamehameha JP Leong bypass paving due to restrictions to protect turtles. Would appreciate any feedback on day work to address the paving prior to December. So they're looking at December, I guess, to start this. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, just email me and I'll send it on to her. So right now they're saying no pay. I guess somebody had asked if they could pave at night, and they said no. Yes. That's what she's telling me. So if you have a question about why Joseph Leong, why that would matter, send me the email. Yeah. So I'm just reading what she sent me. Okay, so again, if you have any questions about that, please send me an email. I'll be sending you a fuller email that she sent me with other responses to questions that we've had. And I just want to make sure that at least this got into the record. So thank you. Any other questions for Representative? Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Okay, approval of the June 25th, 2024 minutes. Do we have a motion to accept? Bob, do we have a second? Charlene, discussion. Huh? What? Too late. You're on the record. You'll never live that one down. Okay, if there are no comments or questions, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Any abstention? Thank you very much. And since we still have some time, any reports from the committees? Raquel? Huh? No, we're meeting on the 30th, is it? I can't remember. 30th, thank you. Okay. And it's on Zoom. No, we have not yet met.
Okay, so for the Ag Committee, we're focusing on Bill 64 and the upcoming LUO amendments to the Ag section. Our committee has met and have chosen 3 topics to present a resolution to the board at our next meeting as recommendations to submit to council for that LUO. But more than that, I mean, there's a lot to cover in that bill. And if anyone is interested or if anything impacts you, I strongly recommend you get involved with those hearings and be able to testify or submit written testimony to give your portions or your considerations or amendments to. It doesn't have to come from a committee or the board. I encourage everyone to be involved with that process. It will impact how our ag lands are used and how they're zoned. So that's kind of our focus right now.
The committee has not met yet, but we do have our upcoming health and emergency preparedness event at the end of August. I encourage you all to keep that on your calendars and join us. Another topic for discussion that I'd like to bring to the committee, and I'm open to ears. My ears are open to other potential topics and subjects to be discussed. Was this current CrowdStrike outage and how that affected us as a community in regards to emergency preparedness.
Want to know how it affected us? It did, actually. We use CrowdStrike for our cybersecurity. And the good news is our cybersecurity is so tough, we had a hard time getting through to fix the problem. So that's the good news. We have very good cybersecurity. So our IT team worked through the night and all through the morning. Everyone just dropped everything and got in because they literally had to do patches for about 1,000 computers. But I got to tell you, our IT team rocked. They really did. By noon, we were all up and running again. The biggest concern I had was it a cyber attack, which it was not. It was just updated your Microsoft 365 and oops, it crashed. That's really what happened. It was just one of those application updates and it just didn't work. Unfortunately, we know what the bigger issues were around the globe, airlines and all sorts of other fiasco. But luckily, we got through it and very quickly and never lost service, never lost water, never lost anything. So that was really good. So a big shout out to my team, the IT team. They're awesome, really great. But yeah, that would be curious to know. If you have any updates from your side of the life, that would be great. You're probably closer to that than I am. On the, yes, Bob. They always entertain questions. Go for it. But you got to use your microphone.
My question is, as it relates to the rhinoceros beetle, I'm wondering, I think that 10 years from now, it's still going to be a monster, only it'll be a bigger monster. And I think that we need to put pressure on the Department of Ag. If they have to hire some guy in France or Greenland or wherever, they have failed in the last 10 years. And maybe it's time to keep the heat on. And your committee might want to put a motion together about how to put some heat. Anyway, that's my suggestion.
Duly noted. But we are actually working on, that's kind of a side conversation until we get through the bill. But I have been following there's been some Senate hearings where DOA is there. And I mean, they know they're failing in that area. So there is a lot of pressure and we continue to follow that and place that pressure. We look to inviting someone from CTAR to come to our meeting to help explain and address and provide some more mana'o for us so that we can present something. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Cesspool, we will start back up in September in time. We want to get some legislation in for the 2025 session. So Rep. Peruso will be working on that with our committee and we'll bring hopefully a couple of items to the board. I do know one of the things that came out of the stakeholders advisory group last night for sewer and stormwater was cesspool. One of the priorities, objectives of the group is to look at help for cesspool conversions. So that is one of the things they're going to be looking at, and they are looking at assistance programs and things like that. They realize that even though it's technically not their problem, it's still their problem, because they take in all the waste at various locations, so they still have to deal with it. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I'll keep reporting back to the board on that. Any questions regarding cesspool committee? Hearing none. Okay, no board member attendance at committee meetings that I'm aware of. Correspondence, you guys get everything I get. I email it. I'm sure you have 6,000 emails from me. Next regularly scheduled meeting is Tuesday, September 24th, so we're on hiatus next month. And any final board member announcements? Any announcements from anybody regarding activities? And you already announced the disaster craft fair, so.
Question, do we have a scheduled debate or talk
You
story?
missed it. It was last Monday.
Last Monday. Was that recorded?
No, unfortunately, no.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, okay, well, I will make this announcement. There is, Civil Beat is coming to the Waialua Community Association, and the 3 Senate candidates are supposed to be there for grilling, as they put it, by the reporters, and they will take written questions from the community. So that's an opportunity. So tomorrow at 11 at WCA, AM, 11 to 1:30. It's okay, and on that note, I will gavel this meeting out with my knuckles. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight.